Today, our special guest. Boom. Start over. Start over. Today, we have a special guest. She has done some special things in the broadcasting world. She interned and did her thing on and off the camera for KTVE, KRED in West Monroe, Louisiana. She graduated from Dallas Baptist University in broadcast digital media. She is also currently the grad assistant for the broadcast media team at DBU. Everybody, it is my pleasure to welcome Cayla Williams to the show. How are you doing, Cayla?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. This is going to be so good.
This is going to be fun. We're literally talking for like 5 or 10 minutes trying to set up stuff. This is going to be fun. We can't wait to do it.
Kept saying it over and over.
Over and over. Great. Because when we first started doing podcasts, it was for class. You're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. But now we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's fun. So I want to ask you, how's life been since graduating?
Life, oh man, let me be honest, it has been crazy. A wild ride, but it has taught me so much working here as a grad assistant, which I learned that being a GA in broadcasting, it's only in athletics.
Yeah.
And technically you're still a student worker, but you are given higher responsibilities. So that's technically what I do. But I enjoy it a lot. It's fun. I've learned so much of how to be a better organizer, communicator, storyteller, all the above, and so I enjoy it. Yeah, it's been good.
A lot of people don't think about that when they come to the journalism world, the sports behind the scenes world. And be like, oh, you just be in front of the camera. That's what I thought. It's not that at all. It's so much stuff that goes into it. The storytelling when you're in front of the camera, just thinking about everything. But we'll get into later on in the episode. Before you even get to shoot and live, you have to learn the camera, you have to plan, you got to produce. It's so much, and I can't wait for you guys to see it and have someone tell you what it really is. So I want to start off because on the show we tell each other stories. Every guest tells their story. So I want to go all the way back to high school. What made you decide that DBU was the school for you?
Well, okay, so I actually graduated in COVID. So I graduated 2020, and then I actually went to junior college, Paris Junior College in Greenville, Texas. So I went there for about a semester, and I low-key do not remember what my major was at all. I think I just went and I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get the basics done. So I got my basics done. Then my friend that I grew up with and, I was mentored by her family for a really long time in my life, she came to DBU whenever she graduated high school. And so I came to DBU, helped her move in and all of that. Then I went to my school, my junior college. And then the January of 2021, I decided to transfer over to DBU. And when I transferred, I met with my advisor, Chris Ford, and I was like, I want to do movies. I want to learn how all that stuff works. I want to do all that. I was, scared to talk in front of the camera, scared to, do all these things. And I was like, I don't even know what I want to do. So, let's do movies. So I got into it, and I started my intro class, did all the basics and everything, enjoyed it. And then I want to say, I was in college for 3 years. So did dual credit in high school. Obviously, that gets people a long ways. But
high school students do dual credit.
It helps. It really does. I graduated
credit.
college in 3 years, not 4, but 3. And my third year here, skip along to my third year, I finally decided that I wanted to do news. And I was like, I'm going to do news. I reached out to my friend who is a news anchor in Louisiana. I was like, hey, is there any way I can, learn how to get an internship somewhere, learn what to do, how to, grow myself in a way. And she's like, yeah, we can work something out. So I interviewed with her station and got an internship. I was on the morning show, woke up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., went to work, got off at 10 a.m., and then I went to bed at 6:30 p.m., and I woke up the next day, same thing, and it was fun. And then I came back, and I was like, I came back to school to finish my last year, and I was like, I don't know what God wants me to do, and I felt, in a dud. I was like, I don't know what to do at all.
Right.
And so I was praying a lot, and one day it was Christmas break, I was like, I think I need to stay. I think I need to stay at DBU. And I was in the middle of interviewing with news stations and figuring out I could go to Utah or I could go, over here to Idaho. And I was like, I don't know where I want to go. And
I would have got gone. I would have got gone. I would have been out of here.
I know. And I was like, I'm so excited to leave. And then God was like, no, you're not leaving. And I was like, okay, I won't leave. So I didn't leave. And I stayed here. And I interviewed to be a GA in broadcasting. And now I'm here. And do I know what I want to do? No, but as a GA, like that opportunity is always there to experience and apply for jobs and still be here, make money and work and learn, but also it gives you the opportunity to grow outside of DBU as well. So
that's what's up. See, I think it's funny how like you put in your mind like, oh, okay, I got all these interviews set up. I'm finna be gone, and then God be like, nope, I'm not done with you here.
Yeah,
I'm not done with you.
I was like so distraught. Like I was like, I don't know, like God, like what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And God doesn't answer prayers in like the snap of your finger. He answered it in His timing, and I was like, God, I don't know what to do. Like time's running out. Like people are wanting answers. And then like one day I was like, I felt like peace. Like I felt a warm sense of peace over me, and I was like, okay, this is what I know God wants me to do. Right. So I stayed. And I was like, Mom, Dad, I am not going into news.
I bet you they were happy.
They were kind of sad, but then they were happy. They were like, it's your life. You know what you're doing. Right. We got you.
That's what's up. So you first, before you was a GA, you was actually working with the broadcast team. So what made you decide that you wanted to work for a college broadcasting team?
Honestly, okay, so my intro year, whenever I started in January of 2021, I had to like take all these classes and volunteer with the broadcast department. Yeah. And so I was always working with the team as a volunteer, and in April of 2021, I finally like started working. And I volunteered, I kid you not, for every single game, because at that time, that's when volleyball was going on, soccer, men's soccer, women's soccer, baseball, basketball, every sport was going on because it was like the end of COVID. And so I got to like do all of that, and I asked Chris for our advisor, I was like, can I just like come and work? Like, can I do all these games? And he was like, oh, for sure. So I went and worked them, and then April of 2021, I started working there, and it honestly was the best job I think I've ever had. And I've had a couple of jobs,
really?
Not in media, but I don't know, I really enjoyed it because I worked with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
It was all guys, and like there were girls that would work occasionally, but then they would leave because they were like transferring or they had other opportunities, and they were like, I was really close to them, but I supported them no matter what, and somehow I stayed. I guess I just loved it so much because the atmosphere, the people I worked with, like all of the above, and I was like, I just want to stay. Right. So I stayed, and now I'm still here. 4 years going on.
4 years.
4 years of being at DBU, so that's crazy.
That's wild because I can tell you what he's talking about with the volunteer hours. I hated it. I hated it. I still do. I'm like, bro, because now I got to take practicum. And I'm like, I've done 10 games every semester, and now you're going to throw 20-some games at me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, there's no shot. I'm not doing this.
It goes by really fast, though.
Yeah.
It does. It's like, ugh, you have to do it, but then, like, you do it, and it's like, oh, it's already over. Like, it happened that fast. I'm
going to say thank God. Thank you, Jesus. But I want you to tell us about the time requirement, like the time commitment that it requires. Gosh. So, say it's a baseball game at 7. Everybody, DBU is known for baseball.
Oh, yes.
Say it's a baseball game at 7. Walk us through your day step by step to prepare.
Yes. So basically baseball is a 3-game series, sometimes 4, but mostly 3. Honestly, I could be wrong on that. I can't remember because I'm in a different season right now. But so we have games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. And so basically like on a Friday, or let's do a Sunday.
Let's do a
Sunday. So on a Sunday, I wake up at like 9-ish and I go to work. And I'm there at work from, 9 till the game ends, which is like at sometimes 4 or 5. And so I'm there, and the team, we meet at Horner Ballpark, and we have rooms, like there's certain rooms at Horner Ballpark that we keep our equipment in, and those equipment rooms have certain names. So the one where I work, because I'm the primary camera for baseball, and that's camera 1 behind home plate. And the room that's camera 1 is in. That's the best one. It is so fun to work that camera, I would just say.
I never worked that camera. They always had me outside. So I'm either hot, I'm either cold, never just
getting
right.
Getting
rained on, it sucks. It sucks.
And so the room that camera 1 is in, it's called High Home, and that's where all the cameras are. So basically what we do is we get there, we turn on camera 1 because it's already set up. So we turn on camera 1, then we take all the cameras out, go to camera 2, camera 4, which are the side cameras that are at first base and third base. and we turn those on, get everything set up, and there's some new things that are happening at the stadium, so you have to like work with all those things, remove things, and then we have to turn on replay, which is inside the dugout, which is kind of cool because like you're passing DBU baseball players, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're so famous, but they're really not famous.
They really not. they really. You a student just like us.
Oh yeah,
you
but
a
you
student.
never see them. They're like they disappear.
The only time I see them is in the caf. And I don't go there no more. So that was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I see them in the caf. That's it. You won't see them nowhere else.
Yeah, and then once we do all that, we go to our camera 3, which is behind home plate. So it's all the way to the back of the baseball field, behind all the gates and everything. And we have a lift that the camera sits on. So we have to physically put the camera on a lift, and the camera raises up above all the gates. And so that's really fun because, like, you're up in the air. Yeah. It's not fun when it's hot because you're, like, sweating and getting sunburnt and you have to wear so much sunscreen. It's crazy. But, yeah, and then we do that, and then once everything's done, all the cameras are checked, white balanced, everything's checked, we go to home radio, which is where our play-by-play announcers, Brendan and Reagan, sit. And we turn on the camera in there, which is just like a little GoPro camera, so we can see them during the game. And then we make sure their headsets work and make sure everything turns on, and that we can hear commercials. They're talking, and we hear everything. And then after that, we go up to the control room, which is like across campus. And
it's a walk.
Oh my gosh,
it's a
like
walk
everywhere. Everyone's like, so where are you working? The control room. Where's the control room?
Yeah.
Well, you see.
Other side of campus. That's where
it's
at.
And so we just go back up to control, make sure everything's working, graphics, everything's like up and loading, and then that's kind of it. And then we start the game, and the game is like so crazy but so fun, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, so I'll save us from talking about that. And then the game ends, and we tear down basically how we set up in that order, and then that's kind of a Sunday baseball game.
See, I'm not ready for baseball. I'm not ready because it's crazy. Like, the only camera I work for baseball is camera 4. And it's not bad, but it sucks because, like, first of all, I don't like standing up for too long.
Hey, well, we got replay. You've done replay before.
Yeah.
Do you like replay?
I never worked really replay. Yeah.
Well, I got you. We'll set you up with some stuff. We got you.
Get me in the control room because standing up on my feet for too long.
We'll get you to where you can start directing.
Hey,
or TD, technical director.
Yeah.
We'll get you in there first.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. But we're going to take it back again to when you were younger. You danced when you were little.
Oh my gosh, I did.
See,
wow.
Look, I be
You should like show some photos.
I'm saying, like, send me some photos, I'll just put them in. But do you ever miss it?
I do. So I danced in middle school, high school, and then I wanted to continue my dancing career and be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader after I graduated high school. And my best friend that was on the team with me, we did too. But I missed it a lot. I was in a leadership role. I was a lieutenant, and every school has something different. But we just had lieutenants and captains, and I was a lieutenant for about 2 to 3 years, kind of. 1 in middle school and then 2 in high school, which middle school obviously doesn't count, but to me it counted because I loved it so much. But yeah, no, the leadership role was great, and like it we had a lot of teaching and a lot of holding ourselves accountable to things, and it was a good leadership position to have that prepared me for what I'm doing now. I do miss dance a lot, and sometimes I do go to like it's called Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders prep classes that help you like get ready for DCC tryouts, and sometimes I just go to those just for fun because I need to move around. So that's always
loosen
fun.
Up a little bit.
Yeah.
What all did it mean to you when you were younger? Like, how much did it mean?
Like dancing?
Yeah, dancing.
Oh, it meant a lot. I loved it. I had an amazing director who I think I learned a lot of my skills from. And she was always so precise with everything, and she wanted things to be a certain way.
Yeah. And
she was very nice with everything, and she led in a way that you would want like not a grandparent, like an aunt or an uncle to lead.
Yeah.
But she was like a teacher to me, and she was the sweetest lady, and I still talk to her to this day. But she made me love dance. And she was my sister's drill team director as well.
Really?
So she's known me since I was tiny, like tiny. And it was the best time I have ever had working with someone who I was under in a leadership position. And so it was definitely an impactful life in high school, because like that was like what I dedicated my time to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what I dedicate my time to here. Instead of it being
Dance.
broadcast, it was dance.
Yeah.
And I was always doing it. So I loved it.
That's what's up. See, I think the Lord, he knew what he was doing, because if he allowed me to be able to dance, it'll be over. It'll be over. If I could dance and sing, if I could dance and sing, it would be raps. It would be.
Hey, Just Dance, that's a good dancing thing. You can go and do Just Dance. And
oh, you heard the Michael Jackson we experienced, right? I don't lose. I don't lose. It could have Just Dance or the Michael Jackson we experienced. It's competition. And I mean, I be cracking bones and all, because you know I'm old. So I'm old. So it hurts.
It does hurt.
It hurts.
Our bones are so
fragile. But we're young. But I tell people I'm young, but my body is like triple my age. So I'm 21, but my body is about 60. Yeah. My body is already 60, and all my close friends can tell you, like, he's telling the truth. I dislocated my finger 3 times.
I remember that. Didn't you break your leg at some point while you were here? You did something else, right?
I did a lot. I dislocated my fingers, messed up my ankle.
That's what it was.
I messed up my ankle. I was in a boot for like a week or 2.
Didn't you do that during a rec game or something?
Yep. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. All my injuries came from rec. Like, that's why I don't play no more. I'm like, nope, I can't do it. I'm supposed to be in front of the camera, not hurt with cast on. I can't do it. I can't do it. But one thing that I did in high school was band. A lot of people don't think that. I did band.
Band helps so much
for
so
4 years. 4 years. And at first, I'm gonna be honest, I only joined band to get out of music class.
Like, that's what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't like music. I'm not doing music class. I love music, but music class, couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand the teacher either. So I was like, okay, band, PE. Oh, it sounds like a dream to me. I love playing sports anyway. Let's do it. And I said, man, I just played saxophone. Like, I didn't even want to. I'll play saxophone. Then I became good at it. Then I became the best at the school at it. I'm like, oh, I'm good at this.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got in my head, like, cocky. I used to be cocky.
That's okay. We all used to be cocky.
We all used to be cocky, but now I'm confident. I'm not cocky no more. I'm confident. It's a difference. But yeah, band really played a lot into me, because you learn so much. You learn discipline. You learn just the grind to life, like putting your time and effort into one thing. So it really meant a lot. So that's why I can understand what you're talking about when you said dancing, like all the work you put into it. Just like, that's how we so good at what we at now, because we done it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, we done it before, so it's just something totally different. And speaking about totally different, we're going to get into your internship.
Oh, yes.
How fun was your internship, and what did you learn while you were there?
My internship was fun, and I'm going to say I think my funnest story that I had is I went to a Willie Nelson concert in Arkansas. And so my station was based in West Monroe, but they had a separate, tinier station in Arkansas, just at like the... like in between Arkansas and Louisiana, so it was there. And there was a Willie Nelson concert that was happening. And, of course, everyone's like, Willie Nelson, he's crazy, like, he's crazy good, and, like, all these things. So I went up there with, and I met the team that was there in Arkansas, and we went to the concert, and I got to, like, interview people.
Right.
Make a, gosh, I'm kind of forgetting all the terms.
Make a package.
Make a package. Yeah. And it was like the funnest thing. And we were like, it was so late because we had so much stuff to do. And then like this guy who looks like Willie Nelson. Yeah. Literally, like the entire stage crew, the workers, they thought it was Willie Nelson, so they were letting him go places. And it wasn't Willie Nelson. But in my package, I made it look like it was Willie Nelson. And I interviewed him, and I was like, so a lot of people think that, you know, you're some famous guy and you know, you're Willie Nelson. Like how does that feel? And like, he was just talking about it. And he was the sweetest guy. And people really think he is Willie Nelson. And he didn't do anything to himself to make him look like Willie Nelson. He just was Willie Nelson. And yeah, so from that, I learned like how to get work done under pressure, because there is so much pressure in news. Like, you could start the day with like the cleanest like the cleanest day. Like nothing's happening, no breaking news,
Right.
no nothing, and then snap, like everything's
Busy.
going bad.
Yeah.
And there was one day I was sitting in the office and the news director looked at me and he was like, "So you ready to go out to the breaking news?" And I was like, yeah. And I won't say what the breaking news was because it was kind of, a little graphic. But I went out there and I was like talking to all the cops, getting all these information. And I was also talking live, like a voiceover while the camera was looking at what was going on. And I was like, I have never done this before. But the one thing I learned is to not fake my confidence. I am confident, but to go about my day being so confident even when I'm so uncomfortable. And that is something that I've learned how to do and how to do correctly, because when I get done and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just embarrassed myself, I've learned to fake my confidence whenever I'm so under pressure or when I'm so like filled with so much pressure that I can walk away from it and be like, wow, that was amazing. I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. So I think that's one of like the biggest things I learned.
Yeah.
It's like how to do that, work under pressure and work with little time and how to create things, edit things, all the terms for news.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like, I literally be telling them with my podcast, with my internship, I be telling them, like, it's a lot that goes into it that you guys don't see.
Oh, yes.
Like, the 5 o'clock show, the producer has to get there about 1 or 12. You have to get there, and then you literally write down step by step what you're going to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
Then you assign to the editors, okay, I need you to edit this, I need you to cut this B-roll or whatever, and you got to get it in time so the anchor can type up their own script.
Yep.
You gotta,
even the weather, they
be busy too.
Meteorologists, they have to do it too. Like they have to send their scripts to the anchors. This is what I'm doing today.
It's a lot that goes into it, but the biggest thing that I can hit on is confidence. Like I had an essay I had to write in my class for my internship, and I'm like, confidence. Like, it's crazy because I never thought that I would struggle with confidence.
Same.
Like,
Same.
I never thought I would struggle. And just like, my people know what I went through with my season of depression and stuff like that. That really took a hold of me. And I'm just now realizing now. Because when I'm in front of the camera, it's like my confidence isn't there like it used to be. Like, I'll be like, man, what am I doing with my hand? Or why am I not projecting as loud as I used to?
That's major.
Yes,
that is so major.
The hand, I'm
causes
like,
you so much anxiety.
Yes, I'm like, my hand isn't comfortable. It's just sitting here.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks weird. It looks weird. So I'm like, what is going on?
Well, and I've messed up so many times on live television. And I'll stutter, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to cut to my outro. And I cut to my outro, and then I mess up my outro. And I'm like, what did I just do?
Yeah, it is tough. And, like, the thing I be doing now is just breathe. Like, every time before I talk, just breathe. Luckily for me, I haven't been on live yet, but it's going to happen where It's going to happen where I'll be on live TV, but I'm doing a lot of stand-ups right now. Doing a lot of stand-ups. And, I'm doing good, but, like, me and the photographer, Bill Ellis, I love that man. And I love you too, Brett Kelly, if you're watching this. But they always tell me, yeah, we love you. But they always tell me, okay, look, you can do this better. You can do this better. And last week with Bill, he was just like, all right, Jalen, I'm going to be real with you. You got this you need to improve on. We're not leaving until you get it done.
And I love when
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Because they care. Yeah. Even though they might sound like they're, in your opinion, you're like, okay, that's kind of rude. It's not rude.
It's not rude. It's real.
And then, like, you get used to it, and you're like, okay, they're not being rude. Like, that thought never crosses your mind.
Never.
Like, they actually care about you.
Yeah, they actually care, and I love it. So I'm like, okay, bet. And, like, you can tell, like, just the face that they have, like, they really care and want to see you do great. And it's like, it makes me feel so good. So, like, I literally did it, kept on doing it. That's the longest tries I've ever done in my life. And, like, that's why I was like, man, if my confidence, like, the biggest thing we're saying is confidence, because the camera picks up everything. Like, you thinking about your next quotes, and people going to be like, oh, he's thinking about what he's going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm doing stand-ups just memorized. Like, I'm doing all memorized stand-ups.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about it, too. It's like, with sports, I'm sports. He was news. But with sports, it's something happening, like, every day. But I'm like, the only stand-ups I've done so far is Cowboys because it's football season, not basketball season or anything, and I haven't been to Rangers yet. So I'm just doing stuff like that, remembering names, pronunciating. That's very hard too. Like, pronunciation is key. It's very key. So I can definitely see what you're saying about confidence. Like, you just gotta be confident in yourself, and like that comes from off the broadcasting world and stuff. Like, how are you doing mentally? Like, are you confident within who you are? Are you confident within your situation? Can you get better? So that's why I be trying to tell my podcast, like, yeah, this is a sport podcast. Whatever God put on my heart, I'm gonna say it because the world needs to hear it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But we're doing our thing.
Yeah, we're chilling.
We're doing our thing. But what is something that caught you totally off guard that you weren't expecting at your internship?
Oh boy, so much. And I think the biggest one was just waking up early and getting things done on time because I really can't remember the time. I think we woke up at like 1:50 and had to be at work at 2 because we lived like 5 minutes away from
You
the
woke
station.
up at 1:50
Yeah,
and had to be to work at 2?
Yeah, and it wasn't like when you showed up, everyone was there. It was just like the 2 news anchors, me, the meteorologist, the photog, and then like the crew who was there, like the director.
Yeah,
like,
the director,
audio,
the producer, the control room people. Yeah.
And so it wasn't like so many people that were there at 2 o'clock. It was just the news anchors and the meteorologist and me. And so we had to go in and make sure everything was done. And it was so hard for me to not fall asleep. Like, I was just sitting there and I was like, I'm trying not to fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
Right.
And there'd be so many things that we'd have to like look at because we go to bed at 6:30, 6 o'clock.
Right.
And so like there's so much stuff that happens from 6 o'clock to midnight in the news world. And so we had to like, go back and find it. And I think like the biggest scare that I had was like forming my words. What am I gonna say? That is like the most thing that I was not expecting, because in news that's like New York City news, like Good Morning America, like you sometimes like they don't write their own scripts. It's given to them.
It's given to them.
And so I was not like, I knew we had to write our own scripts, but it was like I didn't know what went all into that. So that's something that surprised me, was like, okay, we have to do everything. And honestly, I loved it because it was like it's our own words.
Yeah.
And like I would always ask like the anchors, I'm like, okay, can I like write my own script? Because I would have to go off location to where I was, like use the TVU and like all of that, and like go off location with my photog, and we would just be chilling there until it was time for me to go live.
Yep.
And I would like sit in my car and like learn my script word for word, and then like I would obviously talk like how I would want to talk on live TV, but like I knew what I was going to say. So I think that's the most thing that surprised me, and it was like kind of hard at first, and then I got used to it.
Yeah.
So
I was. It's so much that surprised me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just walking in the building surprised me. I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, I didn't know this was here. Like, I live in Fort Worth. I pass this building every day, and I didn't know this was this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that surprised me. Second thing, was just noticing everything that happens, like everything that goes on that people don't see. Like, it's a process. It's like you have a team of people, and like every department is different. The news department is their own department. The sports department is their own department. The weather department is their own department. And like just seeing everything come together to make one show.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy. Just the producing really is what caught me by the most surprise. Like, okay, you got this much time. If you're not off by this time, the screen's going black.
Yep.
The screen's going black.
And if the screen's going black, they're in your ears.
Yeah.
You're like, you need to be done now.
Yeah, like being in your ear, like I'll be in there, I'll be like, hey, you got about 2 minutes. You got about 2 minutes, 45 seconds, you know. So it's a lot that goes on, but I mean, I love it. And it's just a journey. It's just a journey, but a lot of stuff has surprised me.
It's a good experience. And honestly, after I got done with my internship, I looked back and I was like, wow, DBU actually taught me so much.
Yeah.
Because, like, even though broadcast digital media, to some people, it looks like such an easy major.
It's not.
We went through a lot, like the voice and articulation class.
Yes.
Like, you really learn how to do that. And I took that before I went on my internship. And so, having taken that class and then going to my internship, I really learned a lot. And I was like, wow, I am so grateful for DBU. I'm so grateful for Chris. I'm so grateful for everyone that took their time to like dedicate time to me. Yeah. And I was like, this is nice.
Definitely. It's just like you said, like I actually learned so much. Like they're trying to teach me stuff. I'm like, oh, I know what this is. This is a control room. Like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And they were like, really? Yeah, I know what it is. I'm learning this in class. I learned this in class already. And I'm like,
and they explain how to do things, and you're like, oh yeah, I know how to use that software. Like, we're good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like I had to learn how to use a totally different software.
Oh, yes.
So that was tough, but it actually like I like it because I'm like, okay, I learned how to do this. It's not that different from this. and then I can like have room to experiment and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can do this on here.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different, so.
Different process.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
But surprised me the most is the television business. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like at CBS, we had news at 6.
Mm-hmm.
But the ratings wasn't doing too good, so they cut the whole show at 6 and put Jeopardy in at 6. So everybody that was at 6 got cut.
Dang.
Yeah, like they gotta go.
That really does happen.
And it happens, like that's the television business.
Yeah.
Or like for me, like I've been working on something for hours. Oh yeah, it's not gonna make it in the show.
I've experienced that.
I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what was the whole point? But I'm not even mad. Like I'm like, okay, at least I got reps. I got I got the practice. I don't even be getting mad. I just be like, man, I just got the reps. But it'd be some days I'm like, bro, today was hard. Today was really hard, and it could have got to me. But I'm like, that's the business, and I love it because like I rather it happen now. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm walking into. Then when I get there, and I do get a job, and be like, oh, I ain't never experienced nothing like this before.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got into that. But now we're finna get into a segment that I love. It's called My Bad. So in this segment, you gotta tell us something that you did that could have affected something or someone, but it made you feel bad.
Oh boy. Okay, so I think the one that I can't remember a lot of things that happened because I tried to like stay back as much as I could because I was like, I'm in a new atmosphere. I don't know exactly if I'm doing this, but I joke around a lot, and I think that just comes from working with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And so the news director, he's really funny, and he jokes around a lot too. So I was like,
they
this
all
is
be
perfect.
joking.
But there were some times like where I would. There's like a lot of times like backtracking. So there's a lot of times like sometimes I say something that I find funny and that like I think a lot of people would find funny, but then they're like, oh, that's kind of rude. And I'm like, oh no. And so that happened. I can't remember which scenario, but there's about like 2 or 3 that it happened, and I was like saying something and the news director was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I mean this, and this.
Right.
And then I felt terrible. And I was like, did I just upset the news director? But no, he was just laughing about it. So honestly, that is my bad of all of that. Like genuinely my bad. And I was like, I don't want to like make him mad at me. Like I'm scared. But yeah, that was the my bad part.
Dude, that's why I don't even be saying, not even at work. Like at work, like I'm myself and stuff, but I don't even be joking like that. I'm like, hey, I'm here on business. You know what I'm saying? But even outside of work, people just too sensitive. I can't do it.
And
like,
things get misconstrued.
Yeah, people
so
get things
fast.
Miscommunicated. You tell somebody something, they go tell somebody what you said,
telephone,
but missed that.
telephone.
Yeah, you missed out a whole bunch of stuff. So that's why I don't even say no. I just keep my mouth closed.
Yeah.
My mama always told me, if you ain't got nothing nice to say,
don't
say it at all.
Don't say it.
Don't say it at all. So if I think it's something negative, nobody would never know.
Yeah.
Nobody would never know because I'm like, I'm not even finna say it.
Yeah.
That just set me up for failure. So that's why I be like, man, I'm just grinding. I'm just dedicated. I don't go out. I don't party. I don't do nothing. I'm dedicated to the grind. I'm just
there's
dedicated.
like I don't find a point to do all those things. Like if I find a love and I find a support and things that I want to do, I continue doing it.
Yeah.
Because like I know myself. I gotta be myself. So I want to do this. But yeah.
Yeah. It be like that.
It do be like that.
It be like that. But now we're going to get to something serious. So on the show, I love to be open and honest with the audience. So I want you to tell us about a hardship that you went through that might have had an impact on you.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so you mentioned in the earlier about, your depression and everything you went through. I have severe anxiety. And with that along comes depression, which I don't think I have depression so much that, I want to, like, all the things that come with it, but my anxiety is so bad to the point that I constantly shake. I constantly, there's, like, tics that people have, so, like, sometimes I'll, like, do this, like, random, like, little things, and, like, I overtalk or I overspeak, and, like, I don't mean to, and I don't really have, like, a specific scenario because my anxiety is, like, every single day. Panic attacks every single day. And so that is something that I go through. And when something bad happens, which nothing bad has really happened, like, in the past year.
Amen.
And
That's a blessing.
Yeah. And so it's really nice to, like, kind of be able to breathe, but like breathing is hard for me so many times because like my panic attacks come on whenever I'm thinking or overthinking, and it's like, why am I overthinking? And I overthink the littlest things, and it's not good. It's not good at all. And like,
it's not.
I will say, like, so much stuff has happened, like last school year, up until now, and through that, with my anxiety, I think I lost about 25 pounds. Yeah, it was crazy. But I will say, through all that, God was there, and he was there with me by my side, and like, he taught me a lot of things. And something that I struggle with also is being alone, like the fear of being alone. And so
that's the one.
That is something that
that's the one.
I was like taught last school year, was how to be alone.
Yeah.
And not alone as like no one's gonna be there for me,
right.
or like my housemates aren't there. It's more of how to be alone in my own scenarios, and like how to get through life alone, because like you're not gonna sit with your best friend every single day and make money at work. Like you're gonna be doing different things. And so I was taught how to be alone on days where I didn't, like my housemates were doing something, or, you know, my friends were out doing something and I didn't have anyone. And like God was telling me, he was like, that's okay. Like you are not meant to do things like that 24/7. Like it's okay to be alone. Like your anxiety, yeah, it's gonna get you, but it's not gonna be there 24/7.
Right.
Like go into the Bible, read, meditate on it, and like after you do that, keep yourself busy with things you love doing. Like that's what I did, and like that's something that like openly and honestly, anxiety, depression, the fear of being alone, like those things are like so much heavily impacted on my life. Even today, even like when there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
They're so
I'm
heavily
bored.
impacted. Yeah.
I can definitely hit on that, because with my depression, that came along with it. Like, bro, I'm alone. And like for you, it's just like not people wasn't going to be there for you. Like not people not being there for you. For me, it was nobody was there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was like, man, like I'm going through it. I'm down bad, and nobody's here. Nobody's here. And the crazy thing is, I let it be known, and nobody was there. So it was tough for me, too. Like, just a lot of hardship that I was going through within the past few years, especially being here at DBU and stuff. I'm just like, man, like, this is tough. You know what I'm saying? This is tough. And I let being alone get to me.
It gets to you so quick.
Yeah, I let it get to me. I'm like, bro, like,
because it makes you feel like you're actually alone. No one's ever going to be there.
No
like,
one cares.
You're forgotten about. All of the above.
Yeah, and I'm like, Jalen, like, bro. And, like, I couldn't even help it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't help it. Like, a lot of people don't even know this. Like, I'm going to say this for the first time. I'll go outside and go to the waters over there by the trails. I'll just cry. Like, I had my sunglasses on, hat on, and I'm just weeping. Just weeping. And I'm like,
and that's okay.
What am I doing? Yeah.
It is okay to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because sometimes it feels really good. I'll say this. You know, sometimes my safe place was whenever I would take a shower, because I could cry and nobody could hear me. And so that like probably sounds weird, because I was like, oh, I was in the shower. But like, no, genuinely, the shower was my safe place, because I could cry and I could like be in myself, and nobody could hear me, because I didn't want people to know that I was not doing okay.
Yeah.
So I would sit in the shower and I would cry. And it felt so nice. Like, it really did.
To let it go?
Yes.
To let it go, especially with me. I'm a big music guy. So I'm listening to music that's not helping my scenario. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm listening to Bruno Mars. I'm listening to all this sad music. And I'm like, okay, now I can cry.
Yeah.
And I can let it out. But, like, one thing that God put me in that situation to get me to where I'm at right
exactly.
now.
And he
like,
taught you how to overcome all those situations.
Exactly.
And that is, like, I am so grateful for that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm learning so much stuff from God that I never put my mind and my eyes to in the Bible. And it's like I'm learning. I'm learning what God wants me to learn.
Exactly. Like, I would say my biggest pivot in life was that season of depression. I told a couple people, like, I needed that. I needed that, and I'm so thankful for it.
That's how you grew.
That's how I grew. That's how I grew as a person. Like, I wasn't a bad person before. I was just being me. Maybe childish, but I was a fun guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm still fun, but I'm just so mentally locked in, and like I've grown spiritually. I'm got wisdom, I got knowledge, and I got everything that I wanted and I always wanted. Now I'm like, okay, God telling me now it's your time to go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I took all them people away from you so you can see me. Like, and I be telling people, like, you say you see me, you say you love me, but do you really see me? Do you really love me? That's what the love stands for. Like, do you really see me? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, show me. You know what I'm saying? Show me. That's where's the love? Like, show me. That's what it means. So I'm just like, man, it meant a lot, and it was tough. It was tough doing it, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Now, do I want to go through it again? No.
Definitely not.
No, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world. So I'm just glad we got serious. And we shared
I love the serious
talks.
I
love the serious talk. So if you're out there, you're listening, the point is it's okay and that you're actually not alone. It might be God putting you in that situation for a reason, to open your eyes out to something that only you will know. Your situation might be different than ours, but it could be some God trying to get you to realize that you just not seeing yet. You know what I'm saying? So embrace it. Literally embrace it. Learn something from it. Learn something about yourself.
And don't be afraid to talk about it either.
Don't be afraid.
Because everyone experiences something like that.
Yeah.
And it's okay to talk about it, go through it, and let other people know what you went through, because maybe they're going through the same thing.
Right. And that's how we get into a good world where us as disciples, I feel like that's when we actually reach our point in our mission as disciples. Using our experiences and sharing it to others, and it becomes a chain. It's like a cycle. So it's like more and more and more people. That's why I'm like, man, God gave me this platform, and of course it's for sports to grow me, but I'm like, I'm not, this ain't all about me. You know what I'm saying? God gave this to me. I'm finna do what he called me to do and share the word, because I feel like that's what he wants me to do most importantly. So yeah, I hope y'all learned something. Get help. A lot of people reached out to me about my short clip. I appreciate y'all who have reached out to me. It really means a lot. But get help. Just let it out. That scream I did in that video, it helped.
Screaming does help.
Yeah.
Into a pillow.
Yeah, let it out, man. Let it out whatever way that you want to let it out. And don't worry about what people think. That's another thing. I used to worry about what people think. I don't care what you think of me now. You can think I'm ugly. You can think I'm weird. You can think I stink. I know I know all that ain't true. So just do you and not focus on the negative that people might think about you. Yeah, that was good. So now we're finna move on. What have you learned personally, well, spiritually, since you've been here at DBU?
Well, everything that we talked about earlier. I mean, that's kind of what I've learned spiritually. I've learned how to, instead of whenever in the moments where I feel alone and my anxiety's hyping its level up, I've learned how to not sit in that and how to go straight to the Bible and read the Bible. And my favorite verse in the Bible. Let me actually pull it up.
Pull that thing
up. It is.
I think mine is, I believe it's John 13:7. That's the verse that got me through my down season, because it says, you may not understand what I'm doing now, but one day you will. And I'm like, oh, that's
mine's Matthew 14 when Peter walks on water, and something that I do is I doubt a lot. And Peter starts walking on the water, and he starts falling in, and Jesus says, "You of little faith, why do you doubt?" And that, I read that over and over and over and over again, and I pray every single time that I get done reading the Bible, and I'm like, God, thank you so much for teaching me how to not doubt, how to be confident in myself, be confident in you.
Right.
And Matthew 14, it's like 22 through 23 of when Peter walks on water and Jesus says that, and it is like that's like my verse right now. So yeah, that's what I've learned spiritually and personally.
I like that. Y'all get into the word. Please, if you're watching this, get into the word, because you might make it through, but it ain't going to be the best way of making it through without getting into the word. Like, everything is in the word. All the answers to life is in there, and it's just a blessing. Like, like, hey, I read this verse. Like, it happened to me this Sunday. I'm in church. I do Bible plans every day. Like, I have not missed a day for 100 and 18 days, something like
That's
that.
good.
That's what I'm most proud about. Like,
Yeah.
everybody talking about some your internship, your podcast, sideline reporting. No. The most thing I'm excited about is not missing a day of that Bible journal.
Yeah.
And it been days where, like, yesterday, for example, I got off of work at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, I'm tired. And I'm like, but I got to do this journal because
Holding yourself accountable.
holding myself accountable, being disciplined about it, and, like, I enjoy doing it. Even though I'm so tired, the rest will come. Like, let me get this knocked out. So that's what I'm most excited about out of everything that I've been awarded with and blessed with. I'm most excited about my discipline about staying in the Word.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
Well,
and a lot of people can't do it.
Something that God asks us to do is stay truthful to Him and faithful to Him. And, like, He really just wants us to know Him and to read His Word and to understand His ways. And, you know, sometimes we forget about that. But, like, even if we don't read the Bible for a week, some people are like, yeah, I totally get it. But they don't read. They're not understanding. Like, they don't understand every single piece of the Bible. And I think that's something. Because the Bible is literally a love letter. It's literally a love letter to us. And so and like that's how I see it. So every time I read it, I'm like, this is just God like showing me how to prepare myself, how to prepare the way, how to make myself better, how to, you know, cure my anxiety, my depression. And, you know, you can't cure anxiety and depression.
You can't.
I think it's always going to be with us. Yep. But the way we can cure it and we can try to forget about it is through the Bible and through God. And we can just, like, stay confident in Him. And, like, that's something that He asks us to do is because if we put all of our, you know, worries and we cast all of that to Him or we, like, you know, pray to Him and, like, let Him know, like, hey, we're struggling with this. Like, we know that you can, you know, take care of it. He's not going to take it away in a day. You have to, you know, put time and effort into the Lord and let Him know, like, I'm here. Like, I am your child. I'm here for you. Like, I'm here all day, every day. And, like, there's more that goes into that. But, yeah. Yeah,
we'll get into that another because we preaching to them. But I love it.
We are preaching.
I love it, though. I love it because that's what the people need to hear. That's what they need to hear. And that's what I'm called to tell y'all. That's what I be telling people, like, within this podcast, like, yeah, I got objectives I want to achieve and go over. But whatever God called me to say, I'll rip the whole script in half and go off that. And go off that. So I'm really hoping y'all getting some of these gems that we telling y'all because we really like telling y'all real stuff and it's important. But with all that being said, if y'all didn't know, Cayla was the first sideline reporter at DBU. It wasn't me.
What a time.
She paved the way for me. And I told her this personally, so I want to tell her on the air. Thank you. Thank you, and I appreciate you because that meant a lot because Cayla would tell y'all I was finna get gone. I didn't want him to leave either. I was finna be up out of here, but I told them in the class, I said, I'm looking at UTA, I'm looking at UNT, I'm finna get gone. It's so much stuff that has happened to me that affected my mental, and then I'm like, with my major, I'm not even getting no opportunities. Like, no, I'm out. I'm out. But then Cayla was like, look, I'm sideline reporting. I want you to come with me and, like, get the gist of it and stuff. And then you talk to Reagan. I'm like, okay. So I went, I did that. I talked to Reagan side by side, made some things work, and now I'm doing it too. So I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
That really meant a lot. And, like, you don't understand, like, what you just did. Like, it's big what you did because not only am I doing it, but now it's people in line.
Oh, they
waiting.
want to do it.
And
that's perfect.
They
it gets
want
the opportunity
to.
out
Yeah,
there.
they get the opportunity. I'm like, if it wasn't for you and me sideline reporting, I probably won't have this internship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everything matters. And it's like people be coming up to me like, you're doing so good in the sideline reporting and stuff like that. And wow, like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I'm like, I appreciate you, but, like, it's a journey. That's why I'm like, me being behind them camera for 3 years, it pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember.
It made me sick. I was hot, but I'm like,
I was always telling you, it's okay.
It's okay. Calm down. Calm down. Yeah, and it's worth it. It's worth it because now you got to do it. You got to go through it. You got to understand what you're there for and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's crazy to see the road of people that actually want to do this now. Like, I'm in class where people are like, yeah, I want to be a sideline reporter. Yeah, I want to be a sports commentator. And I'm like, where have y'all been?
I know, nobody's been voicing that.
Yeah,
and I will say the only, like, whenever I, like, first started, I went to Reagan and I was like, hey, like, I want to build my reel. Like, is there any way I can, like, start doing stuff? and like even if it's sideline reporting, because they had it before, then they stopped.
Yeah, then they stopped.
And then I was like, hey, can I do it?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I was like so impressed by you because I was like, he's doing good.
Man.
I did not know sports. I don't know sports as well as Jalen knows sports. And he knows it very, very good. And he connected with the players like so well. And it was like exactly what was needed to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it was perfect. And there was some points I was like, I think Jalen's got this. Like, I think he can do it. Because like, honestly, putting that pressure on you, I think it made you learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And like learn like even the stuff that you were uncomfortable
that I was
with.
uncomfortable with. Yeah, because me and Cayla use a tag team. All right, first two, all right, bet. Nah, man, you know, you know what I'm saying. So she would do all the interviewing. All I had to do was click into my analyst role, and that is easy. They telling me, yeah, Kayla's not gonna be here today, so you got everything. I'm like, whoa.
And it was good though.
It was,
you did really good.
I appreciate it.
You learned so. I mean, well, you already kind of like knew a lot about it.
Yeah.
You learned more.
I learned more about it, like the storytelling.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing I learned in my internship, and it's so simple. And I'm like, bro, why didn't I think about this? A story is literally just the beginning, middle, and the end. And like Bill Ellis taught me that, and I'm like, bro, are you serious, dog? Because it was so good. I never thought about it, but he asked me, he was like, let me see what you're learning at DBU. He's like, what's the story? I'm like, yeah, I'm giving him the definition. This is a story. No, a story is the beginning, middle, and the end. And I'm like, that's deep. Yep. So now every time I'm doing my side report, I'm interviewing, let's start off in the beginning. That's what I did here. Yeah. Let's start off in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Now, what happened in the middle of the story, find out what happened in the middle. Now the end will be currently. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, like that meant a lot. So when I'm with these players and stuff, it's a blessing to just hear their story in general. And I'm like, man, like I'm going to make this a story. And I tell them all the time, and this is what I love about it. This is not about me. This is about you. Like, I don't care about me looking good on camera or me sounding good. I want the audience to hear your story. That's why I be honest and transparent with them. Like, this isn't about me. This is all about you. So I said, when I get done writing a story, I'm going to send it to you before I even get up on camera to do it, because I want you to feel comfortable with it. My job is to just deliver the story and people be enthused with you and want to follow you. Yeah. So that's the whole goal of that. But like, man, like sideline reporting is a blessing. And she left me hanging. She stopped. I'm like, where'd she go?
Life got in the way, man.
Where'd she go? Can we see you back in front of the camera in the near future?
Maybe. I would enjoy it. I would want to do it. Maybe like come back and like do a couple. But with me being a GA, I do have a lot of more responsibilities. Yeah. But I do want to, do it again. Yeah. Because it was fun.
It was fun. I remember that one game. I forgot who the team we played, but literally the other coach came up to us.
Yes.
I swear this happened. She could tell you. The other coach came up to us and was like, I forgot what team it was. I think, was it? I don't know. I'm not even going to try to remember, but he said, I just want to let you guys know that I watch your broadcast. And you guys are doing an amazing job.
I smiled so much.
Yeah.
I was like, amazing.
I was like, really? And it hit hard because I'm like, bro, I'm tired. Do I really want to do this sideline reporting today?
Same way. Yeah.
I really don't want to do this today.
I could be home sleeping.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel tight with this suit on. I don't want to do it. Like, I got a suit and tie on. I'm tired. And then he came up there. I was like, oh, it's go time now.
He was so nice about it, too.
He was nice.
I don't think he was trying to, make his team look better. Or anything.
Yeah.
He was just genuinely
genuinely coming up to us. I'm like, you guys are doing an amazing job.
I was like, thanks.
And I'm like, that's the things in life where I'm like, bro, if we can just be nicer to people, the world would be such a better place. That's why I be telling people, like, if somebody's weird, let them be weird.
It's their personality.
That's them. And they're comfortable being that. They're being themselves. I tell people all this time, I have high respect for weird people because they're themselves and they don't care. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I'm weird. I love being weird. I'm weird because I'm going to be me and I'm not going to change it. And I'm just comfortable being me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if we can just spread the love, spread the joy, the world can become a better place. Yeah. The world can become a better place. And that's what I'm trying to fight for, because another thing is God don't care about the world. He care about the church. He care about the people of him. He care about his children. He don't care about all the world. He care about the church. I learned that in church. So I'm like, man, like if I can just do a little part and just spreading love, spreading hope, everything will fall in line.
Amen. Amen to that.
Everything will fall in line. So with that being said, I'm going to get Cayla back on camera. You guys will be seeing her this this semester. Make sure you guys pop out to the volleyball game. You go to Dallas Baptist. They have a home game Thursday. Catch your boy Sideline reporting there. Catch Cayla doing her thing with the broadcasting team. Yeah. Thank you for coming out today and being on the show. I'm glad you came on the show.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad I came.
I enjoyed it. I really had a great time. We had a good discussion.
We did.
So everybody, thank you. If you're watching, I am your host and founder, Jalen Suits with Cayla Deeanne. Yes. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Cayla, you want to add anything?
Jalen is such an amazing host, and listen to his podcast all the time and watch his videos. Keep up with him and make sure you stay in contact if you're really close with him. So yeah.
Amen. You heard it first. Remember, if you're trustworthy with the little things, then imagine the big things that God will give you. Share the love. I'm out. Peace. Baby, come talk to me. This where you supposed to be. Hey, he can't love you like I love you, and it's plain to see. Baby, come talk to me. This where you supposed to be. Hey, he can't love you like I love you, and it's plain to see. Baby, come talk to me. This where you supposed to be. Hey, he can't love you.